chiamo Danielle. My name is Danielle. Hello. And this is the recap, the review of all the lessons that you've done so far in Learn Italian for Travel. So there have been 9 lessons. Part 4 with time had 2 different videos. A lot of information for you to ingest and digest. And I know it's a lot of vocabulary. So I wanted to do this last sort of recap or review to sort of highlight, I think, the most important things that you'll need to remember. So I didn't include the numbers in this. I didn't include time in this. Those are on their own. The words that I'm trying to get you to remember are the words where you might need to approach somebody to say something, or you might need to ask for something, and the words that you'll kind of use in your flowing conversation to keep things rolling and to say thank you and all of those very important words. So cominciamo, let's start. So the first thing that I said at the beginning of this video right now is salve. And I know in the very beginning I taught you different ways to say hello and to say goodbye. If you just, and some of them had to do with the time of day, either the morning or afternoon or night. If you just remember salve, you can use that anytime. You can use that in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night. So you're good with salve. That means hello. It also means goodbye. And I put lei up here. Lei in parentheses means you, formal. So when you don't know people in Italy, you're going to use the formal form, the lei form, you, and that's salve. So their counterpart of that, the informal counterpart, which everybody knows, it's a universal word now, is ciao. Ciao means the same thing as salve. We haven't talked a lot about ciao because ciao is informal. And when you're over there traveling and meeting people for the first time, you're going to be using the respectful formal form. So ciao, hello, and goodbye. And then I put the tu, and that's how to say you informally. But if you go over there and you make friends with people and maybe you're staying at a hotel or a pension and you get to be friendly with the owners, you'll start to use the informal form. So then you can say ciao to each other instead of salve. Or you might just want to say salve the whole time, and that's perfectly fine too. So the second 2 things here, when you want to catch someone's attention, if you're walking into a shop or into a museum or into the hotel, scusi. Scusi means excuse me. And you can also say prego. Prego has various meanings we've talked about. It also means you're welcome. But you can use it to catch someone's attention to say excuse me in the same way that you would say scusi, prego. And then if you want to say ma'am or sir, you're going to use either of these. The word for ma'am, signora, signora. And the word for sir, signore, signore. So the difference is the ending vowel. Signora, woman, signore, man. Typically, the ending on masculine words ends in O. But there are also some that end in E, which are masculine and feminine. So just tuck that away for later as you continue to study Italian. Salve, scusi signora. Salve, prego signore. Hi, excuse me, ma'am or sir. So these words are important, molto importante, for asking things. These are all going to be question words that you might need to ask somebody. So the first one I put is dove. And remember the dove means where. If it's written like this with an apostrophe and the accented E, it means where is. So when you're traveling, you always need to know where things are, whether it be the train station or the museum or in the restaurant, the bathroom or something. So remember that word, tuck that away, dove. And then I put ... because you can replace the word that I put for train station with anything. So dove la stazione? Where is the train station? And then you can go back to that lesson on directions and remember when they tell you go straight, turn left, cross the bridge, all of that, you'll know what they're saying. We're not going to review the directions in this. Dove la stazione? Where's the train station? The next one, if you want to ask, can I see that? You can point. Gestures are important too in communication always. Posso, can I? And if you're on the train maybe and you're wanting to squeeze by someone, or if you're in line or you're wanting to get by, you can use that word posso for can I get by? Can I? In a polite way. And then I put io in parentheses there as the pronoun for the subject pronoun for myself, for I. So that's you're talking, so that's io. So remember, I is io. And if you're in a shop or at the market or wherever you're at, you want to ask how much something costs. Quanto costa? Quanto costa? How much is it? You want to ask, is there something? Is there ... Because again, you can replace it with anything singular. C'è means there is. If it has a question mark at the end, it means is there. So I asked here, c'è un bagno? C'è un bagno? Is there a bathroom? Usually if you're walking around and you have to go to the bathroom and you need to go and use a bathroom in a cafe or bar, you're going to need to buy something. So something small, but they don't typically just let you walk in and use the bathroom. C'è un bagno? Is there a bathroom? If it's anything plural, it's not going to be there is, it's there are. And then if it has a question, are there? So now we're talking about stamps, plural stamps. You're in the tabaccaio, you want to ask, are there stamps? Ci sono I francobolli? Ci sono I francobolli? Are there stamps? And then the last one, really important when you're traveling by train or by bus, or you want to ask at what time something opens or closes, the phrase at what time. A che ora? A che ora is at what time. And then here we conclude with arriva il treno? A che ora arriva il treno? At what time does the train arrive? And I'm not reviewing time in this lesson, so you're going to have to go back to that lesson on time, asking and telling time. Andiamo avanti. The interrogative words that you can tuck away, the question words, okay? Chi is who. Che cosa is what. And you can actually isolate each of those and you can just use che for what, or you can use cosa for what, or you can use them both together. Che cosa, what. Quando, when. So you might ask when the train departs with quando. You might ask with a che ora. Quando parte il treno? A che ora parte il treno? You can use either. Dove, where. So here the dove is written as by itself with no apostrophe and accented E. So now it just means where, not where is. Perché? Perché? It means why. It also means because. When you answer the question, when you ask the question with perché, you answer it with perché, because. And here we have quanto. We just saw the question, quanto costa? How much does it cost? But quanto is variable, meaning it agrees with nouns, which we haven't gotten into a lot. And again, I'll write this down on the file that you can look at. But there are 4 possible endings that you can use with quanto, depending on the singular, plural, masculine, feminine nature of the noun. If you use it with a noun. If you use it with a verb, like costare, it's always going to say stay quanto. Quanto costa. But if you use it with a noun, like, for example, francobolli ends in an I, and you want to ask how many stamps, you would say quanti francobolli. It agrees. So you have quanto, quanti, quanta, quante. The last one, quale, means which. Not which like a witch with a pointy hat and a broomstick. Which one? Which house? Which restaurant? Okay? E and I, singular and plural, is the I ending. So all of these are question words. You can ask questions or you can make requests. So some ways to make requests for things are the following. Vorrei, we've talked about in a few lessons, is a very important and polite way to request something. I would like. So if you're in the restaurant if you're in the hotel, if you're in a shop and you want to make a request, vorrei, ... The example I use with is la bruschetta. You're in the restaurant and you would like bruschetta as an appetizer. And you know now, with Learn Italian for Travel, that you pronounce the CH like a K, not like a cha. So bruschetta. Or you can simply state the noun and then say please at the end. So you could also say la bruschetta per favore, bruschetta please, or maybe you're in the cafe or bar and you're ordering breakfast, a cappuccino, you can just say un cappuccino per favore, a cappuccino please. You can also use this phrase here, and here it's written either singular or plural. You can say I need, and we use this in the lodging video. We also used it in some other videos to say it serves me, or I need. Mi serve ... una coperta. You're in the hotel and you need another blanket. Mi serve una coperta. Or if the thing that you need is plural, meaning more than one, then you say servono instead of serve. So if you said mi serve I cuscini, they would understand you. If you want to impress them with your Italian grammar, then you would say mi servono I cuscini, because cuscini are plural, pillows. So then we would say servono. These three things are important. I don't think I've covered these in any lesson, so you might want to take note here. Somebody gives you directions or says something and you didn't understand. You say, non ho capito. Non ho capito. So in Italian, the word for yes is si, the word for no is no. It's the same as in English, except for we say no, they say no. But if you make a sentence negative, you have to say non with an N on the end. So non ho capito. I didn't understand. And the H at the beginning of the word is silent. So you don't say ho, you say o. And then if you need somebody to slow down as they're giving you directions, you would say più lento per favore. Più lento per favore. Slower, please. And the last one, you might need to say you're sorry for something. Mi dispiace. Mi dispiace. I'm sorry. All of these words are molto importante. Sono molto importanti for various reasons, because they're polite things to say or things that you might want to put on the end of a word or ways to end of a sentence, or ways to express yourself in ways that sort of sound natural and flowing in the conversation. The first one, of course, you always want to say thank you. Grazie. Grazie. Thank you. And then I have a mille on the end there in parentheses. Mille, if you remember the video on numbers, means 1,000. So you could say 1,000 thanks. That's a very popular thing to say instead of just thanks. And I put an arrow here because you can either put it in front of grazie or at the end of grazie. So you could say mille grazie, or you could say grazie mille. Both of them are perfectly acceptable. And when someone says grazie, you say prego. Prego is you're welcome. We also used it in the beginning to catch someone's attention, prego. But it also means you're welcome. Va bene. Va bene means okay. You will use this a lot. Va bene. It's one of those things that you can just throw in once you know it, because you say okay a lot when you're talking to people in agreement. I just said this a couple minutes ago, but sì is yes, no is no. Ecco, when you're making an exchange with somebody and you give them something or they give something to you, they'll say ecco, here it is, ecco. Certo. Certo means certainly. It's a nice agreeable word to know. Certo. Please, we always want to say please. Per favore. And like I said, it's perfectly acceptable to make requests using the noun or whatever you want, and then just per favore at the end. per favore, please. The next one, basta così. Basta così. It means that's enough, enough like that. That's usually when you're at the market and they're filling up your bag with apples or tomatoes and you want to say that's enough, you say basta così. Or maybe you're buying bread and they're giving you a bunch of bread. Basta così. It's not rude. It's perfectly acceptable to say that's enough. Okay, and the last one, I don't think we've ever covered this either in any of the lessons, how to say you like it. So you're going to be in Italy walking around experiencing some wonderful things, whether it's food or beautiful sights, art, and so you're probably going to want to be saying that you like it a lot. You're not going to use the word love. Love is not something you use to say you like the monument or the pizza. You say I like it or it's pleasing to me. So if what you're talking about is one thing, you say mi piace, like this pizza, I like this pizza, mi piace. If what you're talking about is more than one thing, for example, a series of statues, then this turns plural and you say mi piacciono. Mi piacciono, they are pleasing to me. So that's the difference. And again, if you said mi piace and you were talking about a series of statues, they would get what you were saying, that you like it. If you want to impress them and show them that you know that those are plural, that there's more than one, and so you have to change the verb, they'll be blown away. Wow, they know how to change piace to piacciono. It's pleasing to me, or they are pleasing to me. We haven't talked about this at all yet, but I thought it would be a nice thing to add because we always talk about the weather and our state of being. So what you're experiencing, if you're cold or hot or hungry, and what the weather is doing are pretty sort of an integral part of our daily conversation. So you'll notice here there's two verbs, o and fa. Okay, so, and then you'll notice some of these words are the same. So the difference is when you use o, which is the verb you're saying I have, you're talking about yourself. So all of these things refer to you. The first one, fame. Fame is hungry. So if you want to say I'm hungry, you say ho fame. The next one, sette, with one T. Remember from the numbers video, there were two T's in the number 7, sette. You rest slightly longer on those T's. Sette, sette. It's a slight difference. Sette with one T means thirst. I'm thirsty, ho sette. Poi, sonno, sonno with two N's means sleepy. Ho sonno, I'm sleepy. If you remember from the beginning, we asked, where are you from? And you said, sono di Chico. I am from Chico. It's sono with one N. So again, the difference, sonno, two N's, sono, one N. Changes the word completely. Ho caldo, I'm hot. Ho caldo. And then the last one, freddo. Ho freddo, I'm cold. If you want to talk about the weather, you use the verb fare, and so the conjugation is fa. Fa bello means it's nice out, it's beautiful out. Fa bello, the weather. Fa brutto means the weather's bad. Fa brutto, bad weather. So here, these two are the same as up here. We've got caldo and freddo. So you want to make sure the verb you use is appropriate for what you're trying to say. Because if you say ho caldo, that means I'm hot. If you say fa caldo, it means it's hot outside. Fa caldo, it's hot out. Fa freddo, it's cold out. Fa fresco, it's cool out. It's moderate. Okay? We're going to look at a few adjectives and one adverb. So I haven't gotten a lot into grammar in these videos because I don't want to overwhelm you, but I want you to know sort of what you're saying when you say it. So bello, buono, bravo are adjectives. So bello means beautiful. It's used pretty frequently to describe either people or things that you see. It might be also an exclamatory statement like che bello. You would say when something's great, that we say awesome, or we say great or fantastic. Italians say a lot, che bello, how beautiful, it's great. Okay? Buono is good. It's another adjective. Buono might be used to describe food. You don't ever say food is bello. You say food is buono. So if the spaghetti that you're eating is good, you don't say the spaghetti are belli. You say they're buoni. And actually the I agrees with spaghetti. But don't get caught up in that. So buono, food, and also people are good. People, you could say that person is a good person. Bravo, and here too, like bello, you could say che buono. If you're out eating something and it's really good, che buono. Che, not to confuse you, we saw back a few pages means what. But here we're using it in a different context. How beautiful, how good, okay? And then the last adjective, bravo, you're going to use to refer to a person. Bravo means good, but good like capable. So you might have seen or been at a performance or something where at the end everybody's clapping and they're saying bravo, bravo. So it's a way to praise, okay, good, but in regards to a person and something that they did. So you can also say che bravo, like that was great that you just did. Good job, che bravo. You're never going to say che bene. That doesn't make sense. So bene, these all are some form of good or beautiful. Bene is the only one here that's an adverb. So that means it has to follow a verb. A verb is an action. So when you use any kind of action word, you use bene following it to say that you do that well. So the ones that we've learned in this lesson, these series of lessons are sto bene. Sto means I am doing, and then you would say bene at the end. Sto bene, I am well. You would never say sto buono, sto bravo. It doesn't make sense. And the other one that we've seen, va bene. Va means it's going. Come va? It's going well. Va bene. But it can also mean okay, which we've seen. So another fun thing that you might want to do, and you might have even heard this before, is, well, we've used molto. Molto means a lot. So if we put molto in front of actually any of these, bello, buono, bravo, or bene, we can say that's a lot of that. Okay, so molto bello is very handsome, or very, if it's regarding some object, it's a masculine object. And again, let's not get caught up in the gender of things, but molto bello, if you want to say that in a different way, you can add issimo to the end of the adjective, and it means the same thing, very handsome. Molto bello, bellissimo, it's the same thing. So if there was an A on the end of bello, then that would be referring to a woman because that's feminine. So molto bella, bellissima is beautiful. Molto bello, bellissimo, very handsome. And again, I'll write this all out for the grammar so you can see it clearly. If you want to say benissimo, so this is the adverb, but it still works with issimo, you can say that, or you can say molto bene, come sta, molto bene, benissimo. It's sort of fun to say that issimo on the end. And then the other things that I added here in the corner, molto means a lot, poco means a little. Poco is the opposite of molto. Or you might also use this phrase here, un po'. Un po' means a little of something. Poco or un po'. Va bene? The last thing that we're going to talk about, which we haven't addressed yet either, are adjectives. Well, we did in the last page. I talked about bello, buono, bravo. Those are all adjectives that are used to describe nouns. So some other sets of adjectives that you might want to say when you're over there are on this page here. And I set them up so they're contrasting, so they're opposites. So the first set here is how to say small and big. Piccolo. You might have seen the flute, the little flute that people play. It's called a piccolo. That's small. Piccolo. And then the opposite of that is grande, big. Piccolo, grande. The next set has how to say beautiful versus ugly, or something that's great versus something that's not great. So we saw bello and brutto with weather too. Fa bello means it's nice out. Fa brutto means it's not nice out. So bello, brutto. And then the third set here, divertente means fun. Divertente. And the opposite of fun is noioso, boring. Noioso. I don't think you'll need to use the word noioso when you're in Italy. It's pretty fun, and there's lots of things to see and do and great experiences to have. So you'll probably be using divertente a lot, not noioso. Second to last, we have allegro, which is cheerful, happy, and the opposite of that is triste, sad. Triste. Again, you probably won't be needing to use triste when you're over there. And the last set is the contrast between nice and not nice. Simpatico. We use that word over here in America too, to say that you're simpatico with someone, friendly, nice. And the opposite of that is antipatico, unkind, antipatico. So all of these are adjectives, and I talked about adjective endings changed. You'll see it all written out in the grammar portion. I don't want you to get too caught up in gender and number right now. I just want you to remember the words. Because, like I said, if you went over there and you said, you pointed to something that was feminine, plural, and you said bello, it's okay. They'll understand what you were saying. So don't get too frustrated with that. Just let the Italian sink in and then flow out of you, and don't get too caught up thinking you have to be perfect and then you don't end up saying anything at all. So then I put the K at the bottom, because just like on the previous page, you can put K in front of any of these adjectives, and then you can make an exclamation. Che piccolo, how small, that thing is small. Che allegro, wow, that guy is really cheerful. Che bello, that's awesome. Che grande, wow, that museum is really big. Che simpatico, that man is really nice. So you can use this in front of all of these to say how, whatever. And that concludes our Learn Italian for Travel series. So I hope with all of these videos and all of the grammar that's included in the PDF files that you're able to learn what you need to know to go over there and have a great trip, and to know that you'll be having an even better trip, that you know how to say these certain words. And at the same time, like I have always said, I don't want you to get too caught up in thinking that you have to be perfect and everything needs to be completely memorized, and that you don't end up communicating. Because the most important thing when you're there is to communicate and to be relaxed and to have fun and to enjoy your experience. So, grazie mille, thanks 1,000, a presto, salve.